This is ELH4X4 doing stuff. Today we're working on a 93 Ford F150, 5.8 liter dual tank. Chief complaint is fuel is overflowing out of the rear tank when you take the cap off, and it stumbles when it's on the rear tank. From the research that I've done on the 92, 93 model, the fuel selector valve is integral or part of the fuel pump, not located on the frame rail where normal vehicles would be at. Right, so obviously we have to drop the tank, rear tank, and change the fuel pump out and see if that takes care. When I was doing previous diagnosis of the vehicle that was running rough, probably 3 months after I changed that rear tank out, the fuel pressure dropped off, and about the same time that the fuel pressure dropped off and causes the vehicle to stumble a little bit, the back tank was being filled up by the front tank. So maybe that was an indicator of the fuel pump going bad, is that fuel selector valve built into the fuel pump was going bad. We'll find out, so come on along. Alright, what we got to do now is siphon out the fuel from the rear tank. I told the owner to run the front tank down. That way we can just take the fuel and fill the front tank back up. But he let somebody borrow the vehicle, and when they let the fuel run down in the front tank, they filled it back up. So we had to scramble and find some fuel cans to do some transfer in. But I'm going to spare you this process because it's going to take a while. So hang tight. Alright, you get the idea. I don't know if you can see the mounting hardware for the straps. Those got to come out, and then we'll get a jack and support it. Alright, there's some more mounting hardware. While we're topside, we can get the mounting hardware for the filler neck and then spend the rest of the time underneath the vehicle. Alright, this topside bolt is a 13, and the nut I think is a 16. Nope, 15. Alright, ears. The exhaust is in the way, so I'm going to use a universal and an extension, and then we'll get a jack, put it underneath the tank, and lower it down enough to where I could reach up. I think you actually have to use a fuel disconnect to get the lines off, if I remember correctly, but we'll figure that out once we get the tank down. We're going to have to loosen up or take off the hose clamp that's holding the filler neck to the bed. We got to take that off. Right there. And I think that's it. Then we can just slide the whole tank down and out. Yeah, so let's get that out of the way. So you can see where it's mounted to the bed. And I did end up taking this hose clamp off for the filler neck. But I guess it has some gas sitting in here, so be careful of that. We'll work it loose once we drop the tank down. I got all the 4 mounting bolts loosened up. Then we'll just slide the jack underneath there and support it. And we may have to get on the other side of the axle or differential to reach up to get the fuel lines on top of the tank. So yeah, and then you can see that the exhaust is kind of in the way here, so we'll maybe tilt the tank down and do the old whatever action. I like to put the hardware back in its place. That way, when it comes time to put it back together, you know where it's at. And yeah, this was a new tank. The fuel pump was under warranty. I think it had a 1-year warranty, but when the issues happened and just trying to find time to, the owner didn't have time to get it changed out, so the warranty lapsed. But we could have got a new fuel pump if we didn't let the warranty lapse. So yeah, just thought I'd let you guys know that. Alright, hardware is secure. Let's get you on the other side of the tank. Let it down a little bit though. Let's see what we can, and I'll reposition you guys. Alright, I'll make this pretty quick so you don't get the full experience of lawn maintenance. But there's a little bit of fuel still inside this that leaked out. No biggie. I guess this vent hose, it has to come out. Alright, so be prepared for that. And I just wanted to show you that vent hose has to come out. So right now we got the fuel tank supported on a jack. Now we're going to work around the front side. We're going to lower it down a little bit, tilt it so I can reach up in there and get the fuel lines off. But I'll wait till yard maintenance gets done and I'll catch you back in a little bit. Alright, here's the wire for the sending unit, the connector. Let me see if I can get my arm up in there. Nope, not really. Fuel line right where my finger is. There's a, where is it? Up in here. There's a clip that's holding the fuel lines together, and then we'll see if it requires a tool. But it looks like there's two clips holding the fuel lines together. And we'll see if we can't get the tank down. We got a little bit of play in the fuel lines that we can bring it down. So let's get this disconnected and we'll drop the tank down a little bit more, see what's going on. So this right here, this clip has to come off. Let's see if I can do it one-handed. Yeah. Try not to shoot it off into the unknown. And then there's the same kind of clip on the other hose. Alright, let's get that taken care of and see if we can't get this tank out. I think also there's a vent. That's this line right here is a vent. So you got your fuel inlet and outlet, right? Return and supply line. And that's it. We already got our connector disconnected for the sending unit. And then we'll get the tank out. I got one taken off. And that hose does require a special tool. Alright, so we'll get that going. But I literally had the fuel tank sitting on top of me, and yeah, that wasn't fun. So I was able to work my way out from underneath, and so it's definitely easier if you drain the fuel out. I just wasn't able to drain
I guess a majority of it, because the thing feels like it's still halfway full. But nonetheless, let's get that other fuel line off, and I'll show you the tool that it takes. Yeah, let's see what's up. We'll take this vent line off. Without breaking anything. All right. There we go. And that'll give us some access to this fuel line right here. And I don't have my glasses on. I don't know if it says what size it is. I don't know if that's a part number. Right here. I don't know what that says. All right. Oh, I did go up front and relieve the fuel pressure. So there is a little bit of tension on that, so I'm going to reposition the tank. Like I said, I had this thing stuck on top of me, so I had to get out real quick, but I'm going to reposition this tank, take some tension off of the fuel line so the fuel line comes off easier. Be right back. I'll clean off and get as much dirt and stuff out of the crevices, so we don't need anything to go back into the tank. Just work your way around, lightly tapping. Doesn't take much. So kind of rotate it. Just keep rotating it and rotating it. Be careful of the sending unit. Kind of use the slots in the gas tank to get it out. Be careful of the sending unit arm. Not really worried about the sock because I have a replacement sock that came with the fuel pump. I do notice I say all right a lot. Look at that, man. I didn't even hardly... This is 18-gallon tank. I felt like I was being crushed, and that's why. I had 18 gallons of fuel on top of me, and, well, probably about 12 gallons, maybe more. All right, but this is what we got. I got the replacement part here, the pump, which all of the bypass valve and all that stuff, it's basically when the pump is on, whatever pump is being used, the other pump like shuts off the fuel flow. All right, so it won't allow the returning gas to bypass into the other tank. This one wasn't functioning properly, so fuel was being transferred through the system, back through the return line, and through the faulty pump. So let's get this bench side and see what we got to do. The other pump is a 2-wire hookup with the sock, and so we just got to take this pump off and take it from there. So I got this out. This had to be bent, so I put the screwdriver in there and bent it over a little bit, and that seemed to have lined it up. So let's get this wire routed underneath. Well, let's get the sending unit on the right direction, right? They all seem to be There we go. Much better. Much better. That's all. And all I did was kind of push down on the clip to get it back out. And that seemed to have worked. All right, let's get these self-tappers back into the housing for the sending unit. You guys in frame? I don't know. All right. Now let's just leave that anywhere. Get you some CH47 action there. No big deal. Well, you got to try to line everything up within reason. It's not going to line up perfectly. Leave it a little bit loose. Be careful around the sending unit wire. Snug it down. And there's little holding areas for the wire to go into. Keep it all out of the way. Okay. Give ourselves some slack and then some. Red goes to red. Right, there I go again. Nothing wrong with being all right, I guess. There you go. Let's not forget to... See, I don't even know what that's for. No idea. The directions are vague. There's no pictures. I'm a picture kind of person. No pictures, so nothing to reference. And we look at the other fuel pump to see which way the fuel sock went. And it looks like it went that way. All right, that's it. Let's go back to the tank. All right. Well, I guess we'll reuse the seal. Putting it back in was a lot easier. You can kind of flex the sending unit over the way you need it to go. Now you just kind of spin it around and screw it into place. I guess you can say it doesn't really screw in, but that's the way it kind of went in. All right. Okay. All right, so just to make sure that that's not leaking, what we can do is tilt the fuel tank slosh it around a little bit. I don't see any wetness. So, I'm saying that's good to go. All right, reverse order for to put it back in, but I'm going to drain some of this fuel out. Man, that was ridiculous trying to lift that. See you in a little bit. I didn't really want to show you me wrestling around and trying to get the right angle and all that other neat stuff. But when you put the tank in, this side drops down. You feed this side up because the filler neck hose has to go over top of the frame rail. Alright, so you put it in on an angle and kind of lift it up, and then you got to reach in over around here, hook the vent tubes back up, hook your inlet outlet on the fuel pump side, and then tighten the straps back up, right? And then put your filler neck in, attach it to the bed liner, all right, hose clamp. I already started it up, and you can definitely tell a difference. The fuel sender is working. We'll go top side, and I'll show you what was going on. So it starts up. I didn't even really have to bleed it. It just started right up. But we switched from tanks. That's a full tank from the last guy that filled it up. What was going on when you flipped to the rear tank, it would stumble, almost stall, and then the owner says there's no performance with the rear fuel tank. Sending unit is working. I put all the fuel back in it, and I'll take it for a test drive, and I'll let you know what's going on.
took the vehicle out for a test drive, functioned through the front and the rear tank with no issues. There is power under load, which was a problem before with no power under load on rear tank. Hopefully this will alleviate the issue. I'm sure if it didn't, I'll make another video. But if I don't, then it probably worked. Thank you for all the new subscribers. I've got some subscribers from Iraq, which completely blows my mind at how far this is getting out. Thank you once again for the new subscribers. Even some dudes over in Russia. Большое спасибо for my Russian droogs and tovarishis, and for the Sadiqs over in Iraq, Shukran, Jazilan, and if you're down south, Jazil al Shoker. So thanks for watching and have a great day.